Welcome to the BaseCamp Barn project.
I'm Natalie.
And I'm Brian.
This week we take a little break and do some exploring. Then we get back to work up on the roof. So come along with us as we start this week with an Easter drive.
We're out here in the mud season getting dirty on Davewood Road.
There's a lot of snow up here to look at.
And it's a beautiful view of the mountains that we live around. We're currently kind of on the top of the hill here at Divide, about 9,100 feet in elevation. Got to be 5 or 6 feet of snow on the berm there from the plows. So this is a pretty good snow season.
I guess the question is, who is Dave Wood and why is this road named after him? In 1876, Dave Wood moved to Colorado from the plains and started a livery stable in Pueblo, where he added passenger wagons and started a fast line. It was a huge success. The Denver and Rio Grande Railroad eventually made a contract with Wood to move his operation to the end of their line, where he moved as much as 500,000 pounds of freight daily at the peak of operations in the early 1880s. In 1884, Wood built his road from Montrose to Telluride over the Uncompahgre Plateau near Horsefly Peak. This road cut off 20 miles per trip. He hauled supplies of all kinds, everything needed for the mines, and passengers too. Unfortunately, in 1893, the demonization of silver brought many businesses, including Dave Wood's, to demise. But his road lives on.
Alrighty, so I'm up here on the roof putting all of our furring strips in for our cold roof. My son Ian did the slope down there for the most part. And I'm in the process of putting up all the strips here on the 8 pitch on this side. I've got a ways to go. Right now it's overcast and I see rain coming out of the clouds all around us. There wasn't rain in the forecast for 10 days, so I guess welcome to spring here in Colorado. But anyway, I'm just gonna put down full strips right now and try to get as far over as I can before the wind picks up. We'll come up here with a saw and pick a spot that we can put some sawdust down that isn't too steep to make it slippery, because the sawdust will make it slippery. And we'll cut all the other pieces that we need to cut to fill in all the gaps. But this is just something I wanted to do after the windstorm we had a couple of days ago, where it blew some of this ice and snow shield stuff off. I just wanted to put my strips down, and that would really hold it down too. So that's kind of the goal. Ugh. It's kind of hard to walk up here, but I made a little jig that gets us on 16-inch centers, and at the angle it gives us about a 18 or 19-inch gap, which is perfect for the steel. And because it's on an angle, it'll actually have more surface area, so it's really a pretty good solution. Or instead of going straight down onto the sheathing here. Anyway, it's just a different approach, this cold roof. And it's something that we did on the shed, and I really liked the idea. This one's a little simpler, but it's a lot bigger. Between each stick here, we're leaving a 6 or 8 inch gap, so that if any water does happen to seep through, or condensation or moisture or anything, it can just kind of follow a way down. It doesn't have to follow the strips all the way to the end. And this stuff here is the peel and stick underlayment, low temperature ice damming. We decided to put it on the entire roof because we were doing this cold roof. Just give it a complete barrier everywhere from the air as well as the moisture. One of the things that I'm looking at or noticing right now is all their writing is on a 45-degree angle, which is what my sticks are. So if I start wandering off of my 45, which it isn't a big deal, it doesn't really matter, but I can follow the 45 on the stickers as I go up and keep it pretty plumb too. So that's kind of the deal. I've used up my allotment of sticks, so I have to go down the ladder and stack a few more so I can continue here this morning. I don't know, if it starts raining, I might have to call it, but I don't expect too much rain. In fact, I'm hoping for a little bit of sun. It's gotten a little chilly and the wind has picked up a little bit. But we're on the lee side, so it doesn't seem to be going or hurting us right now. But we'll see how it goes here in the next hour or so. Anyway, back to work. I'm so close, but I need a reload of screws and a new battery. So yeah, had to go back down. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I just want to get all the big pieces in and cover up ice stuff here so it doesn't get blown off if we get another windstorm. Yep, the wind's picked up, so that's a wrap for the day. We'll look at the mountains one more time and we'll see you tomorrow. I spent the morning putting up more cut pieces up on the roof. So I've basically got that far end, the north end, done, and I'm working my way over on the top, and I've got just about the whole top part done, And then I started putting in some of the scraps in the lower part down here. But I ran out of pieces. So we've already put up 180 12-foot long pieces, my son and I. So I've ordered more. They should be here maybe tomorrow. We'll see. No big rush. I think we've got another 4 or 5 days of beautiful weather. But now that I'm out of pieces up there, I'm moving on to something else. Now that's how it's supposed to go up. In this warm weather and the sunshine, it sticks wonderfully. And believe me, the wind is not happening right now, so we're able to do this. If the wind picks up, we'll have to stop. But right now, it's about as perfect of an afternoon as you can get here. So all this spray foam that we put on to help hold everything together, I just use a long knife and slice it off. There, just like that, making it kind of flush. And then I take just a regular old tile sponge and I basically wash the wall. Whoa. And you can see all the dust coming off, and it comes off on the sponge. You do a second coat or rub down, maybe the other way. And it's a lot better, see that?
Why are you doing that?
Well, this Nudura has oxidized in the sun for the last 2 months. And you can't, this stuff doesn't stick to the oxidation, so you gotta get rid of it. See? The sponge does a pretty good job. It seems to be pretty abrasive. Or just abrasive enough anyway.
And that's going to help your membrane stick to the wall.
And that makes the membrane stick to the wall, yep. So, you can see now it's lighter in color, it's not as yellow. That's so much easier than sanding.
A little cleaner?
Cleaner, you don't have to braid it. And in the sunshine it dries pretty quick.
So being a warm day is helping you out.
Yeah, and I'm just doing a section at a time. So my next section here is this door coming up to here, but I'm kind of getting that prepped for that piece and that piece. So we can get this all tied up and tidy together. This is my workstation. I'm using some leftover roof sheathing as my cutting table. And this Nudura has marks every 6 inches. So it's pretty easy to figure out how long of a piece or where you are in your roll. So my next piece needs to be 8 foot 6 inches. And I'm hoping we got enough. Looks like we got enough. So you just go down to the end there with a tape measure. So here's 8 feet and here's 8 feet 6. This mark right here. Tape measure doesn't like to roll up, so I just mark it so I don't miss it. And I get my cutting piece and I match it up to the mark on the other side. And I cut it. Just like that. So now I'll take this outside and put it on the piece of cardboard I got out there to get it warmed up while the wall is drying, and we'll apply this.
go down.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta get up there. Well, the sun's about ready to head down the mountain. I certainly have gotten enough sun today. I've been spending a lot of time outside. I'm pretty happy with rounding the corner here and getting over to the door. So I'm hoping we can put this door in this week. So I'm hoping to get, some more help here because it's darn heavy. But that's pretty much it for the day. I think we got a lot accomplished. We'll carry on tomorrow, so we'll see you then.
And it's mud season up here.